Welcome to the Foundation for Appalachian Ohio's 2024 Giving Tuesday celebration. I'm Christy Tanner, and it's my pleasure to serve as Vice Chair of FAO's Board of Trustees. On behalf of the entire FAO team, thank you for joining us on this special day. Let's start with a little housekeeping. If you have any technical difficulties during our program today, please either call our office or message us here in the chat. Your friends at FAO are standing by to help. Today, we join with people around the world to celebrate a day of giving. This year's event is even more special than usual for FAO because we're celebrating 25 years of impact for Appalachia, Ohio. On this Giving Tuesday and every day, we're so grateful for both donors and doers for the love and commitment that they've shown for Appalachian, Ohio over the last 25 years. At FAO, we believe everyone has a gift that matters to the future of Appalachian, Ohio. And by working together, we will achieve our vision of a region where every person and every community is flourishing. We start today's program by drawing our attention to FAO's Legacy Candle, which serves as a tribute to those who came before us. It's a reminder of friends who have passed on, but whose legacies as advocates for our communities endure. And today, we remember Tom Johnson. He was an amazing individual, a dear friend to FAO, and one of Appalachian, Ohio's biggest champions. Tom was a child of Appalachia who grew up in Somerset in Perry County, and as an adult, he traveled the world through a career in human resources and international banking. But in 2001, he chose to move back to his hometown and to his family with an eye toward making a difference, and making a difference is exactly what he did. As mayor of Somerset, he served as co-founder of the Community Foundation for Perry County. He also led countless projects to bring investment into his community and across the region, in addition to bringing much-needed resources like the Genesis Medical Center in Perry County. He was an inspiration and mentor to many, and a dear friend to all of us that knew him. These are just a few of Tom's contributions. His impact was extraordinary, reaching far beyond his own community, touching the lives of countless people across all of Southeast Ohio. We will miss our friend tremendously, but I'm honored to share that FAO will recognize Tom's passing, and he will be our 2024 Child of Appalachia Award recipient. We are deeply grateful for everything Tom did for our region. We will celebrate his legacy in partnership with the Community Foundation for Perry County next year. And now, I'm privileged to present the 2024 Chaddock Philanthropist of the Year Awards to two families whose generosity is helping to close the Appalachian, Ohio philanthropy gap and is inspiring others to give in ways that will make a difference in our communities for generations to come. The Chaddock Philanthropist of the Year Award was established in honor and recognition of Jeff Chaddock and Mark Monroe to celebrate those who have made an outsized difference in Appalachia through philanthropy. The award was created in recognition of the couple's visionary planned gift to support Appalachian, Ohio, and its nonprofit organizations. And the two families we're recognizing today have certainly done that. First, we celebrate the Baker family of Monroe County, whose legacy of giving spans generations, from the 92-year-old John Baker, a successful business owner, and his late wife, Lois, to his children, grandchildren, and his great-grandchildren. The family's service to community dates back nearly 7 decades, when John started his family business with one piece of farm rental equipment. As the business grew, so did the Bakers' commitment to helping others within their community. When John's son, Greg, passed away in 2011 during his service as a volunteer firefighter, the Bakers' desire to honor family legacies and support the community that they called home grew even stronger. And now, the Baker family has established or championed 9 separate endowment funds within the Monroe County Community Foundation's family of funds, covering everything from economic development to heart health awareness and more. Please join me in celebrating the Baker family.
I was born and raised in Louisville, Ohio, in Monroe County, and it's just always been the place that I call home. My family's business was started in 1958 with my grandfather selling a tractor alongside the road.
Bought a tractor to use bought some machinery to use, unloaded it out at the shop, or where the shop is now. Somebody come along, stopped and wanted to buy it, and I sold it to them. And from there, I went back and got more, and that's how that started.
My memories of, giving back to the community clear back to my great-grandmother. I remember her definitely being very active and serving with her church community. My grandfather served all kinds of different community roles. Losing my father in my 20s, I was married about 6 months at the time, and for me that was just a time period that, again, it was being able to have his death end up being something bigger, something good had to come out of it, because he did so much for our community.
It just makes me want to drive harder, to do more while I am here, to serve, to be a good leader, to show others that you can't sit back and expect someone else to change it for you. You have to dig in and make things happen.
We need to show the next generation, how we're going to pass the torch, and how are they going to serve our communities one day. The introduction to the foundation was probably through me. I became one of the founding members of the Monroe County Community Foundation 10 years ago, and that was the first kind of step into this realm of how are we going to raise funds for our community so that these monies are here many, many years after we're gone. And it was very, very hard to start. When I look back, it's been 10 long years of just conversations, sowing the seeds of, we can do this. It felt absolutely impossible whenever we started. And now that we're in our 10th year, I look back and our community foundation has surpassed $1 million. People recognize that we genuinely want to have a possibility for the community to have these funds that they can use forever.
What a wonderful family. We're so thankful that several members of the Baker family are joining us online today. Thank you for all of your continued generosity. Our second Chaddock Philanthropist of the Year award goes to Rhonda and Tom Stemmer for their longtime support of nonprofits in Appalachian Ohio, especially in Guernsey County, where they live. Over the years, Rhonda and Tom have taken a blended approach to philanthropy, with gifts to support both endowments and also immediate grant making. Through a donor-advised fund that's housed at FAO and gifts to support other FAO initiatives, the Stemmers have supported everything from services for seniors to shoes for children, education about the Underground Railroad, and more. Much of their current charitable giving centers on organizations that support families as a way to strengthen the community that they call home. Rhonda and Tom are some of Appalachian Ohio's greatest champions and among the first to step up to support FAO's work. Please join me in celebrating Rhonda and Tom Stemmer.
I've been here in this area my whole entire life. Now my husband, that's a different story. He's from the big city of Cincinnati.
Over the years, I'd learned and observed that the people here are just as smart and just as capable, just as talented, honestly, as anywhere else in Ohio. The company I was involved with, Basic Systems, could have been located anywhere else in Ohio because the people there are no different than the people here. So it was an opportunity for them to excel. But not everybody had that chance. We were in a very special situation, our family, with having become owners at Basic Systems. And we sat down and had an opportunity to discuss what FAO could provide to us, which is a very good, say, envelope of support that allows a foundation to be set up without any of the headaches. And so we discussed different options, and ended up with the donor advised fund. Our two primary beneficiaries, if you will, Haven of Hope and Open Arms Pregnancy Center, are both geared to helping families. And without families, you don't have community. So that's where we started.
I have seen both sides of the spectrum because as a child growing up, I definitely would have been one of the Appalachian children that was in poverty. It has come like, full circle because today I have everything.
You do things when you're making contributions, when you're doing donations like this. You don't know what the results are going to be. You do it because it's the right thing to do. And you hope that it has been successful, and you may never know how successful it has been. Us accepting this award, which is different for me especially, I'm a very private person, and we've been incognito for a long time.
Yes, we have tried to keep almost everything we did like anonymous. We didn't want, all the hoopla.
And so maybe this helps FAO find some more people who can help make a difference in the area, in their county, in their school district, or even across Appalachian Ohio.
We are grateful for all Rhonda and Tom do to help create flourishing communities and people in Appalachian Ohio, and for sharing their story with us today. So as we wrap up our 25th year, we pause to remember the people, organizations, and events who helped us grow into the foundation that we are today. I know many of you are joining us now, and we want you to know that your work is greatly appreciated. Unlike many foundations that are created out of individual wealth, FAO was founded by people that are serving their communities on the front lines of poverty relief and through public service. These visionary leaders understood that the children of Appalachia have the same potential as other individuals living outside the region, but what we don't have is the same opportunity. Hundreds of people were instrumental in FAO's founding, bringing their time, talents, and treasures to get the organization up and running. We'd like to recognize and hear from some of those founders, but before we do, we'd like to give a special thank you to Governor Mike DeWine and the Ohio Legislature for their support of FAO and the Appalachian region. They understand and have recognized the needs of the region, the work of their foundation, and they've helped us to create momentum that we hope to carry on for generations to come. And now for our next video. Over the past few months, we have talked with several of our founders to capture their memories of FAO's earliest days and assemble them into a documentary that highlights our first 25 years of service. And today, we would like to share a preview from this documentary with all of you.
What has been done is beyond anything that we had in mind at the time.
When we started, you could talk about millions, but, climbing that mountain seemed impossible to do. And the only way you could do it was one gift at a time.
My mind is blown by what has happened since that initial investment was made. I mean, to think that we started with $1 million and now you're talking about over $130 million of assets in the Foundation for Appalachian Ohio. That's just incredible.
We were hoping that they would stay afloat, and we were hoping that things would work out, and they have done so much better.
I am a proud mother watching my child be extremely successful beyond all thoughts that I might have had initially.
The Foundation for Appalachian Ohio began with a simple idea and $1 million seed. From humble roots, with public servants and community leaders uniting like an Amish barn raising, FAO has grown to over $133 million in assets and $43 million in grant making. This was the start of something extraordinary, built by people who brought what they had and shared a common purpose.
Well, there's an old quote that says, necessity is the mother of invention. And I think we looked at this as a necessity.
What I noticed in Appalachia was there was a lack of really nonprofit institutions, a lack of capacity for philanthropy, for the private sector, for startup nonprofits to get resources. If someone has an idea, they can go to their community foundation, but Appalachia lacked that.
A three-legged stool is very firm on uneven ground because of the way that it's built. We had some private investment, we had public investment, but we did not have that third leg. We did not have that philanthropic investment. And so once people started understanding that we needed all three legs, it just caught on.
I look back at it, take it rather routinely, but we accomplished a whole lot in those early days, but not because of me, because we created an institution, it had a board, people stepped forward from throughout Appalachia, and they made it happen. We just got to set the stage.
You know, everything has a catalyst, in my opinion. And what happened is that I was elected to the Ohio legislature. People started asking me, how do I get money to start a park? How do I get money for this particular cause? How do I? And I'm like, I don't know.
The path forward wasn't easy. Money was a challenge, how to find it, how to grow it, and to create something sustainable. Enter the Noodling Group, a collection of visionaries determined to blaze a trail for philanthropy in the region. With Governor Taft's support, they turned the obstacles into opportunities and laid the foundation for FAO's mission.
How do we raise the money to kickstart this off? So we put together this proposal that said, hey, Governor, how about for every dollar we raise, you match it with a state dollar so we can get this foundation moving. So he agreed, up to $1 million.
So it just made sense that, well, why shouldn't there be a foundation, a philanthropic organization that's really focused on Appalachia? We figured out, well, maybe, you know, the state could provide just a little bit of seed capital to get the ball rolling on a community foundation for Appalachia. Of course, it didn't hurt that my budget director, Tom Johnson, was from Appalachia, and he understood the issues and problems of and the challenges of Appalachia firsthand.
It wasn't just giving them $1 million, they had to match it. And it was hard for them. It turns out, of all the things that I personally worked on and all of our legislators worked on, I mean, this is one of the most important and long-lasting. So I'm quite proud of it, quite proud of what a lot of people have contributed to it.
One of the other primary goals, particularly after we brought on Leslie Lilly, was that we had to teach what philanthropy was throughout the region.
You know, the challenge was, educating a larger population in the region about why philanthropy and institutions that supported that were so important. How do you build abundance out of the unique gifts that this region possesses? And also to make the case that we had a unique opportunity to capture an enormous transfer of wealth that was getting ready to take place in the United States, which really amounted to trillions of dollars over, a couple of decades.
I think of Dean Schooler, David Mitchell, who was the head of the Muskingum Foundation, Bob Garbo, Roger McCauley. I want to leave other people out.
Marion Campbell was one of our early board member founders. She would point out to me, she'd say, Mick, FAO really means fostering access to opportunity. And she was right. That's really what the crux of our mission was. And we certainly had mission and vision. From early leadership, from Leslie right on to Kara, and the board has adopted that and that's really become our marching song in many ways.
We came together with a common purpose, and it just became something that we said, we're going to make this happen. We are going to make this happen.
Appalachia faced more than economic barriers. There was a culture of diminished expectations. FAO's first campaign, I'm a Child of Appalachia, set out to change that by inspiring pride and hope, especially among young people. It was a bold step for a young foundation, proving that transformation really does start with mindset. One of FAO's earliest and most influential supporters was the Ford Foundation. Ford recognized the transformative power of community foundations in advancing social justice, particularly in rural America. Through program officers like Lynetta Gilbert, the Ford Foundation's investment not only helped build FAO's capacity, but also set us on a national stage, showing what's possible when philanthropy and partnership align.
I think the first thing I saw was that you were working in communities that I had always been told about as a little girl. And my mother would tell us, eat that, finish your dinner, because kids in Appalachia don't have this food. And then as you took me around and I saw people who had lived there and had succeeded in life, and then people who were living there then who had some resources, and they were trying to make wonderful things out of the resources they had, but they didn't have enough. I could see the energy and the belief of people that they wanted more and that they wanted to be the ones to help produce it for their communities.
The child of Appalachia was, you don't have to be ashamed of who you are and where you're from. And here are some remarkable people who came from communities just like you, and look what they've been able to do. Capturing that idea and holding up people that you admired, respected, and who were role models, really, for the opportunities, especially among young people, who recognized in themselves, well, I'm kind of that person too. And well, I've managed to, open up a storefront and run a business, or, I'm helping another kid go to college or so forth. So it was easy to do because there were so many wonderful examples of people who were from the region and were out changing the world, making a difference. So that opened up the spectrum of opportunity that, hey, you can do that too.
Early on, FAO was focused simply on keeping the lights on while building for the future. Then a board member asked the simple but transformative question: what could we do if we didn't have to raise our operating capital? The answer was bold. We could raise $100 million. That spark became the initial philanthropic offering, or IPO. Modeled on the business world, it invited donors to invest in FAO's long-term vision. With supporters like Ken Taylor, American Electric Power, Ohio University, and many others, FAO secured its foundation to focus on transformative work.
And we came up with this, I'm going to say, brilliant idea to have this philanthropic offering. And what we would do was offer to 100 people $32,000 investment to create $3.2 million, which kind of goes with about 32 counties. And that $3.2 million would allow us to take marketing off the table and admin off the table, pay for those things for the foreseeable few years, and allow all the money that came in to work for programming and scholarships and grants.
The success of FAO's IPO campaign was built on visionary leadership and cornerstone investments like the $1 million gift from Ohio Cat. Under the guidance of Ken Taylor, this transformational gift not only seeded FAO's Leadership 100 IPO with a match for 15 shares, but also inspired others to join the campaign. By providing an early matching challenge for the Pillars of Prosperity, Ohio Cat's generosity helped establish the framework that continues to support our region's future. Their investment was more than financial. It was a vote of confidence in the lasting impact of FAO's mission.
I was forming my view of our company being an asset in the communities where we live and work. You came to the table with a framework. The IPO was a creative approach, echoing an initial public offering, this time using the philanthropy keyword, and it worked.
I think it's the whole philanthropic idea, or setting the seed money for something greater, so that you feel that 100% of your efforts are made in such a pure way is a very unique strategy, and I think it's one in which a lot of nonprofits could take a look at as a best practice.
From those early investments grew FAO's framework for the future, the Pillars of Prosperity. These pillars shaped how we address critical needs across our region, from economic development to education. The environmental stewardship pillar in particular was profoundly strengthened by a $5 million gift from the Muskingum Watershed Conservancy District. Rooted in their 90-year legacy of conservation, this fund is driving environmental stewardship and ensuring a sustainable future for Appalachian Ohio. Equally essential has been the support of the state of Ohio. From its initial $1 million match grant under Governor Taft to continued investments championed by leaders like Governor Mike DeWine and the Appalachian delegation of the Ohio legislature, the state has been an indispensable partner in our journey. Their belief in FAO's mission has made so much of our work possible, allowing us to turn shared aspirations into transformative action for the people and communities of Appalachian Ohio. These pillars of prosperity have driven impactful programs region-wide, including the Growing Home Fellowship, Ohio Southeast, the Mobile Vision Clinic, and much more. FAO has also ensured that every county in Appalachian Ohio is supported by a local community foundation, with 14 local foundations incubated and now affiliated with FAO. The African American Community Fund exists to serve needs region-wide.
What's remarkable is that the Foundation for Appalachian Ohio is the only really truly regional foundation in the state of Ohio, yet it has spawned local community foundations throughout entire part of the state that has none before. So you're really decentralizing philanthropy and creating capacity in every single county.
Leslie met with us, laid out a plan, and I guess you can say the rest is history. You know, we have 77 funds now, $18 million. We could not do what we did without the FAO.
FAO was a tremendous partner to Jobs Ohio in the state. Economic development organizations existed everywhere in the state except for in the Appalachian region. FAO was able to step in and really incubated the startup of what is now Ohio Southeast. It's been critical to the success of what we've been able to do in the region, and they've been a fantastic partner.
I had this one mother who just, cried on the phone because, she had been wondering if something was wrong and just really didn't have the time or the resources to get her child the care. And so the fact that we were able to do this and help open the door for her of where she can go further and to be able to provide the glasses was a really big step in order to getting her kid the lifelong vision care that they need. Thank you so much to everyone who makes this program possible. We wouldn't be able to do it without you, and we are so appreciative of your generosity.
This Growing Home Fellowship helped give me this very tangible path, right? Like, this is how I can impact Nelsonville and change it for the better and make life better, not for only my kids and myself, but for the people in this community. So that I have like these goals for myself and community now that I never would have had if it weren't for this fellowship.
I think through the fellowship I have been given a lot of opportunities to learn from great leaders, but also I think the big thing for me through the fellowship is just confidence to do something like this. So I definitely see myself differently now, just to see all the things that I can accomplish and all the skills that I didn't know that I had. That's definitely given me a lot.
The story of the Foundation for Appalachian Ohio proves what's possible when people come together with vision and determination. From a single idea and $1 million, we've grown to over $133 million in assets, transforming lives and reshaping the future of this region. But our work is far from finished. Together we've laid the foundation, but reaching our next goal, $1 billion, will take all of us. A $1 billion foundation means creating a legacy that ensures opportunities for every county, every community, and every child of Appalachia. It's a vision of thriving communities, limitless potential, and a flourishing Appalachian Ohio. Join us as we work towards this bold future, turning today's dreams into tomorrow's reality, because building a brighter future has always been, and will always be, a team effort.
It's amazing to look back at our progress over the last 25 years. I am so excited to see the final version of the video that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So keep your eye out as it's released. And now it's time to put our sights on the future. It is my pleasure to turn the program over to Kara Dingus-Brooke, who has served as FAO's president and CEO for 18 years. Kara is going to be sharing highlights from this past year and giving us a glimpse into what's ahead for FAO.
Thanks, Christy, and happy Giving Tuesday, everyone. We're so grateful you're with us, and most of all, we're just so thankful for everything you do to lead FAO's mission in your community. I want to start with an update. Thanks to your visionary giving, FAO has grown from that one fund you heard about in 1999 to a family of more than 700 charitable funds today. Because of our work together, every county in Appalachian Ohio is supported by a local community foundation. And there is an African American community fund serving our entire region. We have grown to more than $133 million in charitable assets for our region. But the best part is the way this new philanthropy is investing in the innovation of our region's people. Last year, we awarded $9.5 million in grants and scholarships and fellowships. We haven't closed out 2024 yet, but we're not too far behind. Already this year, we've awarded 1,200 grants. That's 1,200 new initiatives and opportunities and scholarships making a difference in our communities. One recent grant commitment was to the Crafty Bus. It's a startup founded by a visionary mother of three who wants to bring arts experiences to children in need. She's bought an old school bus, and you will be seeing it in a community near you in 2025. Last Giving Tuesday, we shared our goal of expanding on our fellowships to improve health in our communities, and I'm excited to announce today a new partnership with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center that will be placing 3 growing health fellows in our communities to work on improving our health with a special focus on colorectal cancer disparities. Opportunities like this are possible because of all of your generous giving and collaboration, and we're just very grateful and very excited. On your screen, you can see an impact map of FAO grants last year. Every county in Appalachian Ohio is benefiting. And if we maintain our current trajectory, we should hit the $50 million mark next year in grants given since FAO's founding. We're just at an amazing place with our mission. We have fundamentally improved quality of life across our entire region, but our sights are set on what we've been calling FAO's second mountain. The people of Appalachian Ohio continue to face significant disparities, so make no mistake about it. We are pursuing socioeconomic parity for Appalachian Ohio, but we won't stop there. Our vision is a flourishing Appalachian Ohio, flourishing people, flourishing communities, a deep sense of well-being for everyone. We will achieve this vision by investing in community builders, by investing in transformative partnerships, and to do this, we must increase philanthropic support. And that's where we continue to need all of you. Appalachian Ohio's philanthropy gap remains a challenge. We have 90% less philanthropic assets per capita than the rest of Ohio. Every day, someone comes to FAO with a transformative plan, a really exciting idea, and we just don't have funds to support it. So our second mountain is about taking this new philanthropic infrastructure that we've developed and filling it up with the financial support that will lead to flourishing in Appalachian Ohio. Throughout 2024, we've been working to articulate a future strategy for Appalachian Ohio's philanthropic development that's every bit as audacious and bold and impactful as the one that has guided us to today. I think we've done it. I'll share highlights now, and you can find the full plan on our website. And just please know, we would love to have your thoughts. When we look at things, there are 3 opportunities for collective giving that will simply be game-changing, really accelerate that flourishing in our region. The first is to expand our investments in community builders. The second is to increase the grant making of our affiliate foundations. And the third is to expand opportunities region-wide through our Pillars of Prosperity funds. I've talked about these, of course, as areas of opportunity, but you know FAO, once we see an opportunity, it becomes a goal. So let's just start with our first goal, creating more growing home fellowship opportunities. Appalachian Ohio struggles with youth out-migration. Young people leave for college and for opportunity. They put down roots somewhere else. And it's a big problem to every aspect of community flourishing. But there's good news. Our collective action and our collective investment can make the difference. And thanks to our Growing Home Fellowship, more than 100 young leaders are now experiencing the joy of serving their communities. Some are from Appalachia, and some moved here to serve through this fellowship. Each has committed to live, work, and lead in our region for 5 years. And I can just tell you from my experience working with our fellows that they're finding such joy and such meaning in being part of our communities that this service is going to be lifelong. Our fellows are working in 29 of Appalachian Ohio's 32 counties. They're supporting more than 80 nonprofits and civic organizations. The projects are simply too numerous for me to cover today, but on our new website, you can find a section where you can search to see which fellows are serving your community and read about their vision and their work. With our Growing Home program, we have given young adults a very meaningful role in the future of their communities. And to our local affiliate and nonprofit partners, we want to thank you. Just thank you for the mentorship and for the encouragement you give to our fellows. You are such a huge part of the success of this program. It's a pilot. It's funded by the state of Ohio with support from Governor Mike DeWine. It comes with generous support from an anonymous donor who simply helped to make it possible, as well as generous support from Ken and Martha Taylor. We are so grateful for those gifts, and we have a great start. But to achieve our vision of a flourishing Appalachian Ohio, we need to raise more funds to award more fellowships and to support the fellows we have in their projects within their communities. Our second goal is to boost the grant making of our affiliate foundations, and this includes the African American Community Fund. Our affiliate foundations are incredible investments. They're close to the challenges and opportunities. They know which leaders and which organizations are primed for success, and they are our network for incubating bright spots that we can expand across the region. You saw footage earlier of our mobile vision clinic. That started in Harrison County with the work of a local community foundation. So while they're having a big impact locally, they have a huge impact regionally as well. Our goal is to grow each affiliate's endowment large enough to give $100,000 annually. For some of our affiliates, this represents 20-fold growth, but we've proven it can be done. Guernsey County will award $100,000 in 2025. And one of our pathways is through plan gifts. We often don't think about it, but in the next 25 years, more than $154 billion will transfer from one generation to the next. Now is the time to ignite a legacy movement. Together, we're positioned to attract hundreds of millions of dollars for our communities and for our nonprofits. Just last night, I understand the Morgan County Community Foundation had your annual celebration, and a donor committed 75% of their estate in a planned gift. So I know Gallia County has their foundation dinner this evening, no pressure, but really just imagine the difference these planned gifts will be making 25 years from today. As Christy mentioned earlier, we're missing our dear friend, Tom Johnson, Mayor of Somerset. Tom taught us that one person really can make a difference. And through his thoughtfully crafted planned gift, he will be helping 9 organizations in Perry County that he either started or served during his lifetime. For most of us, estate planning can be a very simple process. And on the other side of it is the satisfaction, the joy, the peace of knowing the things that we care about today will continue after our lifetime. If you've already made a planned gift commitment, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you're thinking about your legacy, just know that we're here to help you support what's closest to your heart. Now I want to talk about our third goal, increasing opportunities region-wide by increasing grant making through our Pillars of Prosperity funds. Of course, our 5 pillars are arts and culture, community and economic development, education, environmental stewardship, and health and human services. Last Giving Tuesday, we launched a historic partnership with the Muskingum Watershed Conservancy District, who invested $5 million in FAO's environmental stewardship pillar. Today, we're announcing 9 grants totaling $132,000. Each supports a project advancing conservation, environmental stewardship, and well-being in Appalachian Ohio. And we're not done yet. There will be more announcements later this month. Of all of our 5 pillars, only our environmental stewardship pillar is large enough to issue region-wide requests for proposals. Our pillars and growing them are essential to a flourishing Appalachian Ohio, and our goal is to grow each pillar large enough to grant $500,000 annually. Just imagine the difference this will make. I've outlined 3 goals today, and when we put the math to them and the time frame together, they actually feel pretty big, hairy, and audacious. However, we know the future will call us to do even more, and when it does, we must be ready to respond. So we will continue to grow unrestricted endowment through our I'm a Child of Appalachia Fund. This will keep FAO on the cutting edge of addressing the disparities that hold back so many in our region. You may be wondering, what's next for I'm a Child of Appalachia? We believe it's adding the science of hope. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. I have heard a lot about hope, but I had never heard about the science of hope until FAO board member Joellen Deary brought us the research. The theory is that hope is a cognitive process, a pattern of thinking we can learn. Gallup has demonstrated that hope can be measured and that hope is an outcome we can produce. And the whole point is where hope is rising, success is rising, well-being is rising, even physical health can be more likely to improve. Hope is essential to flourishing. The science suggests hope is created by combining goals, pathways, and agency. Agency is a sense that our future can be better than our past because of the actions we will take. And here is where FAO is adding to the science. We give each other hope. Our agency is not just individual, it's collective. That's what I'm a Child of Appalachia is all about. There are many in our region today without hope. The challenges and barriers of poverty are real. Many are experiencing trauma, and there are children who simply don't see a pathway for themselves. We're already creating hope. Our grants and our scholarships are pathways. But with collective intention, I believe we can have an even greater impact. Imagine supporting each grantee, each fellow, each scholarship recipient, each volunteer, not only financially, but also with tools to increase hope in their communities, their schools, their organizations. Last month, we announced a new partnership with Battelle for Kids. They're a leading national nonprofit with deep experience in the science of hope. In 2025, with their support, we're embarking on a journey to discern how we can leverage the science of hope in Appalachian Ohio. And guess what? You're all invited. We hope you will join us, and you'll be hearing more about this. So now you've heard our second mountain vision. Our sights are set on a flourishing Appalachian Ohio. We'll achieve it by investing in community builders and transformative partnerships. We're called to collective giving across our affiliates and across our pillars, and we plan to leverage the new science of hope. We will face challenges, and there's one that I want to highlight now. As we build endowment for the long term, we have plans and ideas and partnerships ready to move forward now. Our people and communities should not have to wait. This is where we need your help. Recently, we launched a new annual giving campaign called the Friends of FAO. When you join the Friends of FAO, your gift will be spent in the near term, encouraging young community builders, boosting the grant making of our affiliate foundations, and investing in bright spots across our pillars of prosperity. A gift to the Friends of FAO will unleash the potential of the people of Appalachian Ohio now, while we advance flourishing for the long term. In the chat, you will find information on how to give to the Friends of FAO. I mentioned earlier our need to empower the work of FAO's Growing Home Fellows with grant support for their projects. Our goal is to provide this support through 2 pitch competitions in 2025. The pitch competitions are designed to have a little fun while developing skills and also investing dollars in the game-changing work of our fellows. We piloted it in 2024. It worked exceptionally well. I like to call it a very compassionate Shark Tank. Our hope is that enough of you watching will collectively give $100,000 to the Friends of FAO by the end of 2024. That will be enough to fuel these 2 pitch competitions. And I just want to mention that earlier this month we had a 25th anniversary celebration, and we put a challenge out there for 100 people to join the Friends of FAO in 25 hours, and we exceeded that challenge. Sorry guys, I'm going off script. It's dangerous. But anyway, we exceeded that challenge. We're so grateful. Because of that generous giving, we have now funded the grant-making support we'll be providing our affiliate foundations in 2025. So if we can meet this goal of $100,000, that will help us fund the pitch competitions that we're planning for 2025. Our total goal for the Friends of FAO is $500,000. And again, we're hoping those of you who have not joined will consider joining us at whatever level is meaningful for you. We thank you so much. I will close by saying just again how profoundly grateful all of us are at FAO for your generous giving, for all you've committed to FAO, for all that you've pioneered in your communities and in your pillars of interest. We have a big mountain ahead of us, but our confidence in our ability to do it comes from knowing that we'll scale this peak together. So just from the bottom of our heart, thank you so very much. We're really grateful for you. And it's now time for me to turn things back over to Christy.
Thank you, Kara. That was
you.
absolutely fantastic. We have a very exciting future ahead of us, and we hope that all of you will continue to be a part of that. On behalf of the Foundation for Appalachia, Ohio, our board, the communities that we serve, and every child of Appalachia that has benefited from all of your generosity, we thank you for joining us today. You are the fuel that powers everything that we do in pursuit of a flourishing Appalachian Ohio. And on this day of giving, I would encourage all of you to please join our Friends of FAO. As Kara mentioned, our goal is to reach 100,000 by the end of this calendar year for the 2 pitch competitions for our fellows. So we'd love to see some numbers coming in between now and the end of the calendar year. So maybe some of you are wondering what our milk jug here is. We are excited to close out this year's celebration by sharing with you what we've collected in our 25th anniversary time capsule. It's filled with memories, photos, mementos, and advice for future FAO board members and all of Appalachian Ohio. The time capsule will be opened in another 25 years, so in 2050, as we celebrate our 50th anniversary. And I hope that maybe you and I and many of you will also be with us to celebrate in
We'll keep eating our kale, right? Yes.
Keep eating healthy and eating our kale and doing our exercise, and hopefully we'll make it. So if you have not already had an opportunity to submit something to the time capsule, please do so. We will accept submissions until the end of the calendar year, so the end of December. You could put a note to future leaders, future community builders, a picture, a memento, a story about something that was just meaningful to you as it relates to the work that FAO has done across the 32 Appalachian counties. So the email and the mailing address to submit are provided in the chat, so you have it there. And today we have one more thing that we're going to be adding, an additional submission. It's a poem written by Carrie Gunter Seymour, Ohio's Poet Laureate. And she wrote this poem in honor of FAO's 25th anniversary. I would encourage you to take a look at the video. Carrie actually read the poem, and it's on the FAO website, and you can have a link to that in the chat so that you can take a look and hear her poem. Before we sign off today, I would encourage that all of you watching, we're going to share with you as we end a highlight of some of the digital time capsule items.
Gotta go see it online.
Yeah. Yes, and we're going to scroll through some of that, and we'll also be sharing with you a link in the chat so that if you would like, you can go and take a look at it after the call. So we would like to thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us and for being part of FAO.
Thank you. Happy Giving Tuesday.